Hello and welcome. This is Gray Hughes of Gray Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching. Chloe. Looks like a live video this time. Wow, I made this video earlier today where I said, hey, did they find, I said, Caleb Harris' phone found with a question mark on it. And then even in the title, it says that. The video was like, hey, there's this phone that was found and law enforcement has it. They're trying to determine, And these people are like, this is clickbait. This is clickbait. Man, I've never seen, either people's brains have suddenly just disappeared or, I don't know what. I don't understand the, it's just crazy. It's unreal. I try to make my thumbnails are always boring, wow, to bitch about that one. There's other people that say every time they say shocking new information and it's nothing. All right. I don't do that shit unless it really is shocking. Like I've actually used that title once or twice over the years. Yeah. And all I said was update, Man, it's unreal, man. It's unreal. It's scary, really. Well, maybe more people will be here. Who knows? Like, can you guys hit the, share the video really quick somewhere? I'm just gonna wait. Go share it. Go, hit the like button. Do something. Freaks, it's time for class. Right. But can we try to reach the goal tonight, you guys? This is just getting to the point where it's, yesterday I worked so hard. I did 2 shows, made a video, and still, it's wild. Yeah, well, if you have a lot of followers, post it like on a Facebook somewhere or something. I don't know, forget it. Don't worry about it. I don't know if retweeting helps, Anyways. Oh yeah, that was the right one. There's an update in that. Remember the case of hold on, let me get to the right folder. Yeah, this one. We just went over the other day up in the Seattle area, Idaho, Montana. There's nothing, I said there, likely nobody ever went to Montana. The Pullman Police Department and FBI Seattle are investigating the disappearance of Seraya Aung Harmon, a 2-year-old female, last seen on May 29, 2024, with her father, Aaron Danielle Aung, 21, of Moscow, Idaho. Aung may be traveling with Nadia. I thought it was something like Nicole or something. Let me go look. No, Nadia Cole. That's right. That's why I was thinking Nicole. Yeah, Nadia Cole. So they may be traveling with Nadia Cole, 21, formerly of Pullman, Washington, resident. Cole was reported missing to the Port of Seattle Police Department on May 29th after she was observed leaving the Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. Hey, thanks, Kami. Initially, Aung was thought to have traveled to Montana because he was seen buying camping gear and a Montana map book in Moscow. However, the investigation later revealed that Aung and Cole likely traveled to Mexico. Jeez. Just got really crazy now. Traveled to Mexico in a black 2014 Cadillac XTS with Idaho license 1L5147U. On June 5th, 2024, the Pullman Police Department obtained a warrant for Aung's arrest for custodial interference, first degree for unlawfully retaining custody of Seraya after she was scheduled to be returned to her mother in Pullman on June 3rd. Aung is 5'9" and 135 with black hair and brown eyes. Anyone with information should contact the Pullman Police Department. Police tips at pullman-wa.gov. Thank you, Lisa Valenzuela. So we got that one. Thank you. Yeah. So I guess that's where we're at, man. That's crazy. I wish they had done an Amber Alert earlier, you know. I mean, maybe that would have... I mean, they're long gone by now. You're talking about... I mean, they must have driven through Oregon, to be honest with you. If they went through California, I guess, to Mexico. I guess they could have gone, you know, a little bit more eastern and down through, like, Arizona or something like that. But, man, it's... I wonder why she would just throw everything away like that. I don't know. Yeah. What do you guys think? I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure they went to Mexico and they're probably able to get that same medication that the kid needs. Yeah, I think it's going to end well. I just think there's some reason why he wants to take her away from the mom, and Nadia believes the reason, and you know they're engaged too, and she really like believes in what they're doing. So who knows what this will come out to. Wouldn't it be weird if it was one of those stories where it was like Munchausen by proxy and that little girl was being poisoned? And I'm just saying, throwing it out there as a theory, you know, and they were like, let's get her the hell out of there. Or, you know, it's probably more like a paying child support or something like that. But I mean, that little girl apparently has got some sort of a ailment. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what there's got to be something else behind the story. That seems like such a drastic move to do. Thanks, Linda Howell, as in Linda Moden Howe of the Cattle Mutilations and Crop Circles. 1/3 Starbucks. All right. Well, thanks, Francis. I was kind of working on the Gilgo Beach. I'm trying to write down for each of the victims everything that we know about, not everything, but like the main information about each person, each of the victims, just so I have it ready. I've done 2 of them so far. It's not long, like now here's one for Maureen Brainerd Barnes, right? So it's 25 years old, 4'11", reported missing July 14, 2007. The body was found December 13, 2010 during the search for Shannon Gilbert. She lived at 180 Prospect Street in Norwich, Connecticut. She was a sex worker. Advertising on Craigslist, Backpage, and other websites. Went by the name of Juliana or Marie. Her routine was to work in Manhattan a few days a week as a sex worker and then return back to Connecticut. She normally worked out of hotels, but on this night, she told her friend she was going to do an out call. While in Manhattan, she was staying at the Super 8 Motel, located at 59 West 46th Street. She would normally stay at the Super 8, the Red Roof Inn on West 32nd Street, the Carter Hotel on West 43rd Street, and the Manhattan Hotel on 8th Avenue. She took Amtrak train from New London, Connecticut to Grand Central Terminal in Manhattan on July 6, 2007. She traveled with another female sex worker who left early, leaving Brainerd Barnes behind. July 6, 2007, Miss Brainerd Barnes' cell phone was contacted by a burner cell phone. Between July 6, 2007 and July 9, 2007, there were 16 interactions between Marine's phone and the burner phone. July 9, 2007, at 11:56 p.m., Brainerd Barnes' phone last pinged in Midtown Manhattan near 59th Street Bridge when she called a friend in Connecticut. Then on July 12, 2007, 3 days after her disappearance, 2 outbound calls were made from Brainerd Barnes' cell phone, checking her voicemail from a cell site location near the Long Island Expressway in Islandia. And thank you, WNC Granny. And Francis for the other third of a Starbucks. Yeah. July 12, 2007, 3 days after her disappearance, 2 outbound calls were made from her phone, checking her voicemail from a cell site location near the Long Island Expressway in Islandia. Between March of 2022 and June of 2023, Herman searched for the phrase Maureen Brainerd Barnes. So he actually was looking for her, on the internet before he was even arrested. Miss Brainerd Barnes had been left restrained by 3 leather belts, one of which was utilized to tie Barnes' feet, ankles, and legs together. During the examination of the belts, a female human hair was recovered from the buckle of one of the belts by the Suffolk County Crime Lab. Hereafter, female hair on Barnes. On or about December 18, 2010. The Suffolk County Laboratory, something about this hair was able to determine that it corresponded to a Caucasian head hair fragment, although this hair was not suitable for nuclear DNA profiling at that time. It was subsequently submitted for further DNA analysis. And then the female hair on Barnes' buckle of belt restraining lower body, analysis showed that Herman's wife to be the contributor of the DNA and is 7.9 trillion times more likely to come from an individual within the identical genetic profile as Asa Ellerup. That's the, so there you go. That's why, you know, that whole thing right there connects. Thank you. Hey, there's the other third. There's the other third. Yeah, so that was just an example. So I'm going to kind of just do that for each one of them. So you have, yeah, that was hers. And then the other one is Waterman. She's the one that was at the hotel. So I got that. All right, anyways. I just want to go over that document now. The one that we were started to look at yesterday. And this is it right here. Here, hold on a second. I keep getting texts over and over and over again. Let's see. Hello. She knows he's not innocent. Her hair's on the body because there's hair all over. When you have a house, there's just hair all over the place, and you know he wasn't careful about that. He likely didn't even think about hair. So that's probably what happened there. I was just trying to figure out where to start here. And this is 38 pages. I'll go over it after the charges here. All right, so this is going to be reading, and you know how that happens, you guys. So if you still want to help support the channel during the time I'm reading, going through the document, stopping, talking about it, that'd be great. We're absolutely in a struggle mode for some reason on the channel. You know, I mean, I appreciate the support that people are able to do, but we're just kind of in a, you know, difficult time now where I need to focus more on making videos, like maybe 3 videos a day and on all the big cases, and then we can kind of maybe keep up with what we were doing. Not sure, but it's tough. The 2003 and 2011 discovery of human remains of Jessica Taylor on or about July 26, 2003, an individual whose identity is known to law enforcement as Witness 1 was walking his or her dog just west of Halsey Manor Road, Manorville, Suffolk County, New York. At the time, Witness 1 observed what appeared to be human remains, which prompted him to call 911. Thanks, Bullseye, Little Puppy Paws, and Georgina Stoliker. Upon arrival, members of the SCPD observed the remains of female later identified as Jessica Taylor. Miss Taylor was found lying on her back with her legs bent underneath her. But she must have been missing body parts, so. Was found lying on her back with her legs underneath her. Notably, the victim was decapitated, and both Taylor's arms had been severed from her body below her elbows. Moreover, a tattoo on the victim's torso had been severely obliterated by a sharp object. Investigators believe the mutilation of the victim's tattoo, decapitation of her head, and dismemberment of Miss Taylor's arms were acts perpetrated by Reck Heuermann to, that's right, we looked it up there. What the hell does that mean again? Means among other things. Herman to, among other things, inhibit the identification of the victim via facial recognition, fingerprints, and or tattoo identification. During the initial investigation in Manorville in 2003, the victim's head, arms, and hands were not found at the scene, and their location remained unknown to law enforcement for approximately 8 years. Thanks, Mustang, 1965, and Francis again. Yeah, that's pretty creepy, just reading the way that this narrative is so much different. On March 29, 2011, Miss Taylor's skull, hands, and forearms were discovered along Ocean Parkway just east of Gilgo Beach, Suffolk County, New York. And let's see where that is. So you have down here, hold on. Melissa Bartholomew, Megan Waterman, the Asian male, and then there's also Maureen Brainerd Barnes right there. And then just down the ways is Jessica Taylor. That's where her head and the rest of her was found. And the other parts of her body were found way over here. Over in that area. It's crazy. Thank you, Terry Young. Well, yeah, I think you just typed it in yourself there, Maureen. It went right there. Thank you, Francis. Mocha and a Fiji water. All right. Yeah, this is nuts, you know. Notably, Miss Taylor remains were located in the same side of the road where Maureen Brainerd Barnes, Melissa Bartholomew, Megan Waterman, and Amber Costello. How come I don't have... Where is Costello here? Hold on. I think I have her. Yeah, Amber Costello. There you go. Boom. I was just wondering. There's supposed to be 4 there. Let's go zooming in. Look how close these all are. Amber Costello right there. Melissa Bartholomew. And these are exactly where they are. Maureen Brainerd Barnes and Megan Waterman. Now, if you're somebody that's kind of newer to this case, I'll show you something that's kind of interesting. So it's basically right in that area. So if you go down to Street View here. Now, they built this thing here, wasn't there before. Used to just be a road. Okay, but if you go back on like 2000, it's pretty interesting. If you go back to 2012, I mean, this is crazy because those bodies some of the bodies are in these woods right now as this camera drove by. This is 2007. 2012, this is where they actually built, not built, but they came by. There's crosses and stuff. Look, right here, look. It's nuts. Let me see if I can... I just lost the see all dates. 2012. There you go. Yeah, right there. And it says on the ground, usually right down below, like Megan Waterman. See that MW? And there is the cross, right? So you can literally go down the entire beach or road and on the January 2012 and find different crosses that they put out. All right, just an FYI there. So actually, we had to go the other direction. You would have seen Waterman and then Maureen Barnes, Melissa Bartholomew, and Amber Costello going that direction. And then here's where there's an Asian male. I guarantee you that one is connected. Located on the same side of the road from where Maureen Brainerd Barnes, Melissa Bartholomew, Megan Waterman, and Amber Costello had been found just several months prior in December. Right, so they found some bodies earlier and then they went back out and found more. Each of the Gilgo 4 victims, as well as the skull, hands, and forearm of Miss Taylor, were recovered on the same side of the road and at a depth of within 50 feet from the edge of the parkway. Furthermore, Miss Taylor's remains were located less than a mile from where Gilgo 4 were discovered. Taylor's remains were located, yeah, so, I mean, I think if you just measure the distance right here from right there to there, it's 0.63 miles. Thank you, Wendy Van Rokel. Each of the Gilgo 4 victims, as well as the skull, hands, and forearms of Miss Taylor, were recovered on the same side of the road. Right, so that means he was heading east or west when he was driving. So he was heading west, and so he's coming back from. I mean, it's sort of interesting, isn't it? It's like almost like he either used this bridge to come over, or he would drive by and then turn around and then put the bodies on that side. But it's more likely that he just kind of drove over this bridge here. It's so weird if, you know, like Shannon Gilbert, it's such a strange thing. If Shannon Gilbert isn't related, it'd be sort of like the Delphi case where you have the catfishing account was communicating with Libby, and then she gets killed by some other person. You know, and you got this weird scenario where she's on 911, you know, talking, and there's a guy, you know, her John or pimp and the John or whatever in the background, and she's like kind of paranoid on drugs or something and runs away, and she sort of ends up dying in the middle of this marsh over here. Don't know. And then the search for her is what led to all of these other people being discovered. I mean, what are the odds of that? Let's go down here. Furthermore, Miss Taylor's remains were located less than a mile from where Gilgo 4 were discovered. And they actually have the GPS coordinates for all of them here. Now, Jessica Taylor was last seen on or about July 19, 2003 in New York City. The investigation to date has established that in July 2003, Miss Taylor was working as a sex worker in the area of Midtown Manhattan. On July 21st, 2003, at approximately 8:41 p.m., Miss Taylor utilized her cellular phone to speak to her mother. Based on witness interviews and an analysis of telephone records, the Gilgo Homicide Task Force has learned that the two spoke for approximately 7 minutes. During that call, Miss Taylor had arranged to visit her mother on July 25th, 2003 in Poughkeepsie, New York, for her mother's birthday. Less than 2 hours later, at approximately 10:22 p.m., the Taylor phone placed an outgoing call which lasted approximately 2 minutes. Thereafter, the Taylor phone records reveal no further outgoing. So that must be, hey, are you here yet? You know? Based on witness interviews and an analysis of telephone records, the Gilgo Homicide Task Force has learned that the two spoke, meaning Heuermann and Taylor. Thereafter, the Taylor phone was not used. It didn't make any further outgoing calls or accept any incoming calls. On or about July 25th, 2003, when her daughter failed to arrive at her Poughkeepsie residence or answer any phone calls, Miss Taylor's mother notified law enforcement. At the time of Miss Taylor's disappearance, Rex Herman worked in the same vicinity as where Miss Taylor was known to streetwalk, i.e. work as a sex worker. Records seized during the execution of prior search warrants reveal Herman was in fact present in Midtown Manhattan on July 21st, 2003, the same date Miss Taylor disappeared. On July 26, 2003, and in the days thereafter, members of the SCPD, probably Suffolk County Police Department, canvassed the area around Halsey Manor Road Manorville in the vicinity of where Miss Taylor's remains had been found. As a result, investigators spoke to a witness who had, on July 25, 2003, at approximately 10:30 p.m., observed a dark-colored Chevrolet pickup truck backed into the same wooded area where Miss Taylor's body was later found. Based upon the investigation, law enforcement determined that these observations would have occurred at approximately 13 hours before Witness 1's 911 call. Notably, the investigation to date has established that defendant Herman purchased a 2002 dark-colored Chevrolet Avalanche pickup truck on or about March 22, 2022, from Ramp Chevrolet in Port Jefferson Station, New York. Accordingly, on July 25, 2003, at 10:30 p.m., defendant Herman would have been in possession of a vehicle matching the description of the one observed in the vicinity of where Miss Taylor's remains had been found on Halsey Manor Road. Let's see. Is that what that road is over here? Yeah, well, it's over here. I think it was like, there's Halsey Manor Road, but the way they had it on the map, it's over here, so it's close to there. Okay, a dark colored vicinity of where Miss Taylor's remains had been found on Halsey Manor Road. A forensic analysis of Rex Heuermann's digital devices also revealed the following. One, that on or about July 28, 2003, Rex Heuermann accessed a Newsday article entitled Cops Seek Help in IDing Manorville Body regarding the recovery of Miss Taylor's human remains. That online activity was subsequently deleted, and 2, on or about July 29, 2003, Rex Heuermann conducted an internet search for a new Chevrolet Avalanche despite his 2002 Avalanche being just over 1 year old. So he's already wanted to change his vehicle. The analysis further shows Herman also attempted to delete this search for a new vehicle. Like, who the hell would do that, right? Why would you need to, so he knows. Notably, the activity occurred just days after Miss Taylor was discovered and just days after witnesses observed a vehicle matching the physical description of Herman's leaving the scene. Did they make that public at the time? Here, let's see. Let's check something here. Let's see. Human remains found Manorville. Is that how you spell it? Well, the chat's dead as a doornail again, you guys. Is this where I just end the show and start recording on my own and make more videos for tomorrow? Or, I mean, my God, one comment after like 10 minutes. It's just, God, it sucks. Let's see, dark colored avalanche on March. So this is like March 2003. On July 20, days thereafter, canvas area around Halsey Manor Road, vicinity of where Miss Taylor's remains have been found. As a result, investigators spoke to a witness who had, oh, it's July, not March. I'm just going to type in Halsey Manor Road. That would have to be the only thing. Alright. I mean, the only time he'd ever mention that. Alright, let's see. So on Saturday, an unidentified body was found at about 10:45 a.m. by a woman who was walking a dog off Halsey Manor Road. And this is July 29th, 2003. The body, which had several tattoos, was naked and rested on a pile of branches. In November of 2000, hunters stumbled upon a similarly grisly find on the same road, a woman's body with its head and hands sliced off. Ooh, well, who the hell's that? That's going to be another one of his victims. I think that's Mac, Valerie Mac. Not been identified, and the case remained unsolved. So look at this. It's going to be 100% that Valerie Mac is one of the victims. Because look where she was found. Over here somewhere. And then guess what? Where was the other part of her body found? It's found right here, off on the same road, on the same side even. Okay, so she was found in parts also. So isn't that really kind of obvious at that point? I mean, I'm not even sure why just circumstantially they don't just charge him with that one. It's obvious. Same situation. Okay, defendant Herman would have been in possession of the vehicle, matching the description of one observed in the vicinity of where Miss Taylor's remains had been found on Halsey Manor Road. A forensic analysis of Rex Heuermann's digital devices also revealed the following. One, that on or about July 28, 2003, Rex Heuermann accessed a New Day article entitled "Cops Seek Help in IDing Manorville Body" regarding the discovery of Miss Taylor's human remains. That online activity was subsequently deleted. On or about July 29th, Rex Heuermann contacted an intercept. So I already did that part. We're down here. Notably, this activity occurred just days after Miss Taylor was was discovered, and just days after witness observed a vehicle matching his description. So maybe somewhere in the papers it mentions a black vehicle being seen. Now let me just read the rest of this though. We're aware of the other case, and it's certainly something we're looking at. Police believe both bodies were taken to the location. In the older case, the body had been cut. All right, bottom. Into parts and placed into several bags. The body found Saturday was intact, except for the head and hands, police said. Police believe the body found Saturday was that of a woman who was white or Hispanic, between 5 feet and 5'5" tall, weighing 110 pounds, 125. She had a tattoo on the right side of her back, likely the wing of an angel or bird. The body also had a purple and silver decal on at least one of the toes. That's the 29th. How about this one? Oh, well, there you go. The body was found at 10:45 a.m. by a woman walking her dog. This is Jessica Taylor. The body was found at 10:45 a.m. by the woman walking her dog, and those are what they found. What's that right there? Oh, decal left on a toenail. So that's a toenail right there. The unclothed body was found lying in a pile of branches. The purpose of removing the victim's hand was most likely to prevent us from identifying. Right. Like sex workers are often like in the system, you know. Thanks, Sandy Shirley and Paulette Leonard. And Michelle H. Okay, let's do the next month. How about anything? Okay. So that's Jessica Taylor. They'd already identified her in 2004 as that being her. Well, that's interesting. So they didn't find the rest of her body parts until Gilgo Beach. That's crazy. More than 6 months after a woman's tattooed body was found in Manorville in a wooded area, one of 4 found there in 3-year period. Wow. There's 4 in... Okay, so what are the other ones? Hey, thanks, Michelle H. and Peggy Day. We're at 20% now, you guys. 20%. Suffolk homicide detectives have identified the victim as a prostitute who was working in Manhattan streets before she died. The woman was Jessica Taylor, 20, an upstate native who had relocated to New York City in July after living in Washington, D.C. I'm just going to name some of these so I can find them later. Taylor had been reported missing around July 21st by acquaintances in Washington, and her body, its hands and head removed, was found on Halsey Manor Road in Manorville on July 26th. He said that determining the victim's identity is a major break, but that there's no evidence that a serial killer murdered the victims. Right. It certainly helps us be able to pinpoint an area where she was last seen, Fitzpatrick said. Hey, man, is that Colleen? It certainly helps us to be able to pinpoint. Okay, we have photos available of her, so we're hoping somebody will be able to give us an account of her final whereabouts. It seems clear to the detectives now that Taylor was killed somewhere else and her body dumped in Manorville. Taylor's body was found on a pile of branches. Another woman's body was found by hunters on Halsey Manor Road in November of 2000, about a mile from Taylor's body. It also had been dismembered, but the limbs had been placed into bags left at the scene. The same month, a man's body surfaced in the same patch, and while detectives have ruled that case a homicide, they have not determined its identity. Last November, hunters happened upon a man's body in the same area, but investigators have not determined its identity or how he was killed. So I don't know if those other 2, if they're males, but, you know, who knows? Well, now you can just put Jessica Taylor in there. Anyways, I'll just get back to the notably, this activity occurred just days after Miss Taylor was discovered, and just days when he was selling. He bought a new car, so like he literally was so aware. I mean, this guy is like a classic serial killer here, just like I think Brian Koberger was trying to be. You know how meticulously planning and like doing all these different things with the separating his trash, changing his license plate. I mean, this is crazy. So you don't think that Koberger came up with some sort of blood spatter mitigation, ideas prior? I mean, jeez. Finally, while the make and model of the vehicle Herman searched for is the same as his 2002 vehicle, Chevrolet Avalanche pickup truck, the exterior color is different. So he bought a blue one, as well as another Summit white, while our significantly brighter exterior paint offerings by Chevrolet when compared to Herman's dark green 2002 Chevrolet Avalanche. During the course of the investigation, Miss Taylor's body was examined by forensic scientists with the Suffolk County Crime Laboratory called SCCL, which revealed that Mrs. Taylor had been decapitated, dismembered at her arms below her elbows, and revealed irregular disruption of the victim's nipples and the obliteration of her tattoo. During the examination of Miss Taylor's body, a male human hair was recovered, specifically from a surgical drape that had been underneath the victim, herein male hair underneath Taylor. A subsequent examination of the male hair underneath Taylor led to the determination that it was a human head hair with Caucasian European characteristics. However, it was based on the DNA testing capabilities at the SCCL unsuitable for further DNA testing at that time, because they getting a sequence from hair is new. It's like in the last 2 or 3 years. Hey, thanks, Clad. Appreciate it. On or about August 24th, 2023, the Gilgo Homicide Task Force brought a cutting of the male hair. This is just, like 6, 7, 8 months ago. Underneath Taylor to an outside forensic laboratory, previously referred to in Exhibit A as Forensic Laboratory Number 2, which specializes in forensic mitochondrial analysis. On or about February 1st, 2024, Forensic Laboratory Number 2 issued a report concluding that the mitochondrial DNA profile developed from the male hair underneath Taylor and the profile developed from defendant's buccal swab are the same, specifically at a rate that would, as per EMPOP database, exclude 99.96% of the North American population. So that means you're looking at 10,000, like 4 out of 10,000 people would have that. But we have, 250 million people. So here I can tell you what it would be if you want like this. So 250 million divided by 10,000 equals 2,500. So that would be like out of the entire United States, 10,000 people could have that. I think that's the way you do it, because it's 4 out of 10,000. So it'd be 4, that would be 25. There's actually 300 million. So it'd be more like 12,000 people in the United States could have that DNA profile, which sounds like a lot, but when you look at 300 million people, it's not really good. But you could make an argument. Well, so you're saying there's 12,000 people? Right. So while 99.96% of the North American population can be excluded as a contributor of the male hair underneath Taylor, defendant Herman cannot be excluded as the contributor of the said hair recovered underneath the remains of Jessica Taylor. So he is one of those 12,000 people. So what it's saying is like only 12,000 people in the United States would have that, and he's one of them. Hey, thanks for gifting a membership, WNC Granny. On or about March 8th, 2024, the Gilgo Homicide Task Force brought a cutting of the of the male hair underneath Taylor and a DNA extract of Rex Heuermann's buccal swab to an outside independent laboratory previously referred to in Exhibit A as Forensic Laboratory Number 1, which applies DNA techniques and direct genome sequencing in difficult-to-solve forensic casework and the identification of human remains. On or about April 29, 2024, Forensic Laboratory Number 1 issued a report indicating it had developed a nuclear DNA profile for not only the male hair. You know what's amazing is how great of crime scene preservation they did all the way through this. You know, when people are always bashing police all the time, you guys. I mean, they found these hair fibers and everything and stored them all, even from 2003. You know, and the 1993 case that we have here. I mean, that's pretty amazing. And it kind of shows you the detail they're looking for, even when we're not really thinking about that. Like, these guys are, you know, they take tape and put it on the body and then pull off anything that's stuck there, a piece of hair or something like that. I think Heuermann's killed dozens and dozens and dozens. I wouldn't be surprised if it's over 50 people. I think it's just going to be one of those things, like, over the years they'll just keep more and more names keep popping up. I mean, we just got one yesterday that nobody'd ever associated with him. I mean, it's just wild, you know. And he's got that whole beach filled with people, so those are all different ones. So, on or about April 29, 2024, Forensic Laboratory Number 1 issued a report indicating it had developed a nuclear DNA profile because technology improved. They took a hair sample that they found at the crime scene and ran it. Forensic Laboratory Number 1 was then able to conduct a 1-to-1 autosomal nuclear DNA comparison between said profile developed from the male hair underneath Taylor to Rex Heuermann's SNP genotype file developed from his buccal swab, which resulted in the conclusion that the DNA profile generated from the male hair underneath Taylor is 1.837 times 10 to the 603rd power. That means what you have to do is take 1.837 and put 603, like 1, like just, you know, 1,837, and then 603 zeros. It's a number that does not really even exist in terms of, like, we don't use it for anything. I mean, 603 zeros is ridiculous, right? That's okay. So you got, like, a billion has 9, a trillion has 12 zeros, and then then 15, 18, 21, and you're going all the way up to 603. There isn't even another chance in the entire universe. How do you know, Gray? Maybe there's multiple universes. Yeah, maybe. But hey, guys, if you're out there and you can help support the channel, we're currently at 25% of a nightly goal. Just trying to get there, as we do every night, because we do a lot of great things. It keeps me able to do the show. Plus, we've given over $202,000 to various true crime related charities, including our DNA fund and our scholarship fund, and all the different charities we've given over $20,000 to over the years. But without your guys' support, I can't make that happen. Let's see. Based on the foregoing, it is significant that 2 forensic laboratories have now independently determined that the aforementioned hair recovered from the surgical drape underneath the remains of Jessica Taylor are substantially more likely to have derived from a person genetically identical to defendant Herman's mitochondrial and nuclear profiles, which provide further support that Rex A. Herman murdered, dismembered, decapitated, and transported the remains of Jessica Taylor to Manorville and Gilgo Beach until the victim's remains were ultimately discovered in July of 2003 and March of 2011. That's when the other body parts were found. Thanks, JJ. 5th super chat on the live stream. All right. As part of the ongoing investigation, the Gilgo Homicide Task Force has also established that Herman's wife and children were out of the state at the time of Miss Taylor's disappearance. Isn't that amazing investigation there, too? Like, how in the hell you can go all the way back and find out that they're out of town clear back in 2003? Let's see what it says here. That number, it says, and the following statistical probabilities are provided in scientific notation. The standard notation is for 1.837 times 10 to the 603rd power is 1. Yeah, look at it. It said exactly what I just said. I think I missed 3 of the zeros. I take 3 off. It says 1.837 with 600 zeros thereafter. Right, because these are the first 3. And murder, a consistent theme attributed to the defendant for each of the charged homicides thus far. Let me go back up here. It says, as part of the ongoing investigation, the Gilgo Homicide Task Force has also established that Herman's wife and children were out of the state at the time of Miss Taylor's disappearance and murder, a consistent theme attributable to the defendant for each of the charged homicides thus far, which would have allowed the defendant unfettered time and opportunity to execute these crimes, and likely probably at his house, right? I mean, why would he need her to be out of town, I guess? Specifically, in 2002 and 2003, defendant Herman's daughter, Victoria, was a kindergarten student at McKenna Elementary School located in Massapequa Park, New York. At the time, Victoria was classmates with an individual whose identity is also known to law enforcement, known as Witness 2, based on post-arrest interviews with witnesses, including witness number 2's family and Victoria Herman. The Gilgo Homicide Task Force has learned that the conclusion of the kindergarten school year, Miss Ellerap, Herman's wife, and her 2 children vacationed with Witness 2's family from on or about July 20th, 2023 through on or about July 27th, 2003, excuse me. So it's, they were, Herman's wife and kids were vacationing with the witness number 2 between July 20th, 2003 and July 27th, 2003 at Smuggler's Notch Resort, which is located in Jeffersonville, Vermont. Rex A. Herman did not attend this trip. These witness accounts have been corroborated via telephone records and electronic data seized during the execution of the July 2023 search warrants. For example, agents of the Gilgo Homicide Task Force seized AT&T records which detail calls made to and from Herman's residence in July 2003. These records show that during the aforementioned family vacation, the landline telephone associated with the Herman residence, which was located at 105 First Avenue in Massapequa Park, New York. We have that one, right? Just want to make sure. I don't know. Maybe you live somewhere else. No, it's the same house. Right there. he made several phone calls to telephone numbers bearing 802 area code. Further investigation has tied this phone number to Smuggler's Notch Resort. Oh, that because he would have called to check in on them. Investigators believe defendant Herman made these calls from the target residence in Massapequa Park to his family staying in Jeffersonville, Vermont. Yeah. AT&T long distance services, and then here's the phone calls right here. 802, 802, 802. He called on July 22nd, 22nd, 26th to Jefferson, Vermont. The Gilgo Homicide Task Force also seized phone records attributable to Herman's Manhattan business, Rex Herman Consultants and Associates. These records further corroborate Herman's stay in New York and the family travel to Jefferson, Vermont, as Herman's work landline made numerous calls during the same week of July 20th to 27th, 2003 from Manhattan, New York to the Smuggler's Notch Resort. And this is from his work now. Yeah, see all these calls right there. There's one extra one in there to Omaha. But finally, in July of 2023, the Gilgo Homicide Task Force seized a hard drive from the basement of target residence, and extraction and analysis of that hard drive revealed that it contained a Palm Pilot backup file which appeared to contain defendant Herman's date book or calendar for the relevant dates. The Gilgo Homicide Task Force subsequently hired a digital forensic expert who, by utilizing native Palm software, was able to convert the above data into a readable format. So he called again the wife July 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th. Are those like, are there words on there? Hold on. High powered something. The Gilgo Homicide Task Force hired digital forensic experts utilizing native Palm software, was able to convert the above data into readable format. Commit a man for 61 West 23rd. I don't know what this stuff is. But anyways, these are wife in Vermont at Smugs. So all of these are, I guess he was texting maybe? I don't know. Based on the foregoing, the investigation to date has clearly established defendant Herman's wife and children were indeed located out of state during the time of Jessica Taylor's disappearance, which occurred on or about July 21st, 2003. According to the murders of all four charged victims, and now the murder of Miss Taylor, occurred at times when defendant Herman's wife and children were located out of state, which would have allowed defendant Herman unfettered time to execute his plans for Miss Taylor, which included the decapitation, dismemberment, and transportation of her remains without any fear that his family would uncover or learn of his involvement in the crimes. Oh, thanks, Marine Co. and Brenda on PayPal. Man, you guys see how when I gave my speech a minute ago, it just went man, Jesus, it's just demoralizing, I guess is the right term. Which included the decapitation. All right. Taylor occurred at times when, so it says, Taylor, which included the decapitation, dismemberment, transportation of her remains without any fear that his family would uncover or learn of his involvement. So it kind of shows that his family likely didn't know anything. I mean, they might have been like, God, this guy's weird, or some kind of creepiness, but On or about November 20th, 1993, two individuals, while hunting in a wooded area of Southampton in the vicinity of 50 Old Fish Cove Road, North Sea, Suffolk County, New York, discovered the remains of Sandra Castilla. I think we got that already, right? That's close. So how about, well, yeah, I think about right. I'll just leave it where I had it. So these are the woods near there. The victim had been 28 years old at the time, was lying on her back with her arms outstretched over her head. The victim had been 28 years old, so her arms were outstretched over her head with her uncovered legs spread apart. The victim's shirt had been pulled up over her torso and head, exposing the victim's breast. The victim had numerous sharp force injuries to her face, torso, breast, left thigh, and vaginal area, among other things. Miss Castilla was a native of Trinidad and Tobago, but had been living in New York prior to her disappearance and murder. During the course of the 1993 investigation, Miss Castilla's body was examined by a forensic scientist with the Suffolk County, I think it was crime labs, which led to the recovery of, among other things, 3 hairs from the victim's remains, 1 from the victim's right arm, hereinafter female hair on Castilla, 1 from a tape lift of the striped shirt above the victim's head, hereafter male hair on Castilla, as well as 1 from a tape lift of the white shirt above the victim's head. In 2014, well before the identification of Rex Herman as a suspect in Miss Castilla's murder, the hairs on Castilla were sent to Forensic Laboratory Number 2, which was able to develop a unique mitochondrial DNA profile for each of the hairs on Castilla. On or about August 1st, 2014, Forensic Laboratory Number 2 received an extract from John Bittroff buccal swab. Hey, thank you, Cheryl Bullock. Hello, Lillian. Forensic Laboratory Number 2 then was able to develop a mitochondrial DNA profile from John Bittroff buccal swab. And as you guys remember, yesterday we were reading about, in 2014, in the papers, they were wondering if Castilla's killer was Bittroff, who's also another serial killer. At the conclusion of its analysis, Forensic Laboratory Number 2 was able to exclude John Bittroff and then they dropped him because he didn't match, and his maternal relatives as contributors of the hairs on Castilla. Recently, the Gilgo Homicide Task Force requested Forensic Laboratory Number 2 undergo forensic testing specifically comparing mitochondrial DNA profiles for each of the hairs on Castilla, which had been developed back in 2014 prior to Herman emerging as a suspect in Miss Castilla's murder, to known samples provided by the Gilgo Homicide Task Force. On or about February 29, 2024, Forensic Laboratory Number 2 issued a report concluding that the mitochondrial DNA profile developed from the male hair on Castilla and the profile developed from defendant's buccal swab are the same, specifically at a rate that would, as per the EMPOP database, exclude 99.96% of North American population as the contributor of the aforementioned hair recovered on the mutilated remains of Sandra Castilla. Based on the foregoing, while 99.96% of the North American population can be excluded as a contributor of the male hair, on Castilla. The defendant, Herman, cannot be. Right, so, I mean, it's, you know, it's pretty crazy. I mean, it's obvious. It's so amazing that in Castilla's homicide, one of the hairs that they weren't able to, I mean, they had the hair and they had the, the profile of it. They just had nobody to compare it to. And then Herman is arrested and he cannot be eliminated. And that was before they did the actual sequencing test that they have now. Well, thanks, 8675309, but I hope you feel better. She's not feeling well. She got allergies that turned into like a flu or something. So allergies suck. I have the same thing with the nasal shit. Population can be excluded as the contributor of the male hair on Castilla. Defendant Herman. I think we're at, I think we made it to like 40, I don't know, 30%, 35% now. Right, so he could not be eliminated. He cannot be excluded. Prior to Miss Castilla's disappearance and murder, defendant Herman had been living with this part is crazy, isn't it? Had been living with a female individual. They know who this person is, whose identity is known to law enforcement. During the course of this investigation, the Gilgo Homicide Task Force was able to secure a buccal swab from witness number 3. So this is just somebody he was living with, I guess. Yeah, he was living with a female individual. I don't know if they were dating or just roommates or whatever the hell it was. But during the course of this investigation, the Gilgo Homicide Task Force was able to secure a buccal swab from her, which was secured via her consent. On or about March 29th, 2024, the Gilgo Homicide Task Force brought a DNA extract from witness 3 from the buccal swab to the forensic laboratory, number 2, the lab number 2, for further analysis on or about May 8th, 2024. I mean, this is just like a month and a half ago, or a month ago. Laboratory number 2 issued a report concluding that the mitochondrial DNA profile developed from witness 3's buccal swab and the profile developed from the female hair on Castilla's share a common base at all compared positions, specifically at a rate that would, as per the EMPOP database, exclude 99.98% of the North American population as a contributor of said hair recovered on the mutilated remains of Sandra Castilla, while 99.98% of North American population can be excluded as a contributor of the female hair on Castilla. Witness number 3, who had but no longer resided at target residence prior to Miss Castilla's disappearance and murder, cannot be excluded. All right, hold on. Yeah. So anyways, she couldn't be excluded. So that means when Herman killed somebody, Castilla, this roommate's hair was found at the scene because, there's hair all over the place, so it got stuck on something he was doing. And that just, what an amazing piece of evidence that is. It's just circumstantial though, Gray. It doesn't really tie him. Oh boy. That's about the strongest type of circumstantial evidence you could possibly get. No, it never says you have to pay $1.99 to chat in here. It doesn't say that. Anyways, on or about March 8th, 2024, the Gilgo Homicide Task Force brought a cutting of the hairs on Castilla, as well as a DNA extract of witness 3's buccal swab, to forensic laboratory number 1 for further independent analysis. on or about April 29, 2024. Forensic Laboratory Number 1 issued a report indicating its ability to develop a nuclear DNA profile for the male hair on Castilla. Forensic Laboratory Number 1 was then able to conduct a 1-to-1 autosomal nuclear DNA comparison between said profile developed from the male hair on Castilla to Rex Heuermann's SNP genotype file developed from his buccal swab. So they're doing a 1-to-1 comparison, which resulted in the conclusion that DNA profile generated from the male hair on Castilla, which was recovered from Miss Castilla's mutilated remains, is 4, 347 and 200 or 329 zeros after it. I mean, it's just and that means likely to have come from the person genetically identical. So that you'd have to have that many people to maybe have another person with the same DNA as him, and there you'd have to have something like you can't even come up with a way to explain it to people. You can't do it. Thanks, Mama 457 Rose. All right, we're almost at 40%. Do you guys not like it when I have the gold thing on the screen or not? I mean, I don't know if it makes people just go, forget it. Or is it like, do you guys not like that? At least you can see what, I mean, it's just, I never even used to use them, but it was just kind of like, in the house collected antique dolls. I don't know. Oh, you do? You guys like it? Well, if you don't like it, I won't have it there. But I mean, so that's where we're at right now. See how it's not? It's like it's hard to get there these last few days. I don't know what if it's the quality of the shows or what's going on, but we've just been. I'm trying. Herman's, so anyways, he matched the hair. So this hair that they stored all those years for 31 years. Well, so it is on the screen. It's on the lower left-hand corner. It's right there. See? See it? Do I need to make it bigger? Or? It's right there. Not sure what you're looking at, Paulette. But yeah, this hair that they collected all those years ago, they had the whole time, and now they look at it and it's a match for Herman. I mean, that is just awesome. God. Now, they didn't lose it in the proverbial flood. I'm only going to leave it there, though, if it makes a difference. I mean, if it's like you just sit, everybody just stares at it, it's not going to move. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was right. It was there before, Paulette. I just made it bigger. Forensic Laboratory Number 1 also able to generate nuclear DNA profiles from not only the extract of Witness 3's buccal swab, but also the female hair on Castilla. Forensic Laboratory Number 1 was then able to conduct a 1-to-1 autosomal nuclear DNA comparison between said profile developed from Witness 3's buccal swab to the SMP genotype file developed from the female hair on Castilla, which resulted in the conclusion that the DNA profile generated from the female hair on Castilla is 4,578 with 1,037 zeros after it. Hey, look at that, 8675309. Challenge, everybody. Anyone want to jump on a wave? Come on, you guys can do it. I know it. Based on the foregoing, it is significant that 2 forensic laboratories have now independently determined that male hair recovered from the mutilated remains of Sandra Castilla is substantially, it's such a ridiculous word to use, substantially, more likely to have derived from a person genetically identical to defendant Herman's mitochondrial and nuclear profiles. It's not just substantially, it's literally like mathematically almost impossible that it's anybody other than him. Additionally, both laboratories were able to forensically tie witness 3 who had resided at target residence. And by the way, don't let 8675309 hang there, right? You guys do that to Amber all the time. You know, Amber's like, hey everybody, and then you just sort of, it doesn't happen. So make 8675309 and then subsequently myself feel better. Is subsequently more likely to have derived from a person genetically identical to the defendant Herman. Yeah, so I mean that's substantially is a dumb word. The chart below summarizes the results from forensic laboratory number 1 and forensic laboratory number 2, which each individually have been able to determine the hairs recovered on now 5 of the 6 charged victims are forensically tied to defendant Herman, members of his immediate family, or individuals with whom Herman resided, lending further support to the conclusion that defendant Herman is the individual who murdered, stripped, restrained, and transported the remains of Jessica Taylor and Sandra Castillo. Hey, thanks, Plato! And then 8675309, riding on her own wave. That's pretty, don't see that too often. And Linda Howe, as in Linda Molden Howe of the Cattle Mutilations and Crop Circles. Okay, so that was actually on WNC Granny's wave. Alright, there you go. You got that one. And this one was on... You can hear my nose is stuffed up too. You know, I'm wondering here, what was the one... Isn't the one that kind of cracked the case? Let me... I bet you this is the one that doesn't have forensic, but it's so strong. Yeah, is it Amber Costello? Yeah, so Amber Costello is... Okay, she does have... There is hair for her. Who's the one that doesn't have it? Jessica Taylor does. Castillo. And then Amber Costello, Megan Waterman, Taylor. What's the one? So it says 5 of the 6 have this. Amber Costello. Was it Bartholomew? Yeah, that's the one. So Bartholomew doesn't have anything like that. Anyways, look at this crazy. This is an interesting chart here. So Sandra Castillo, they found male hair, female hair, and if we just go over here, first these are the mitochondrial, what they did years ago, and then the more recent ones here gets to the point where it's an identical match. 329 zeros on that one, and 1,037 zeros on that one. That's a match. And then Jessica Taylor had a male hair on a surgical drape underneath the victim, and that was a match with 600 zeros on it. Maureen Brainerd Barnes they didn't do a mitochondrial. They went straight to a full sequence comparison, and this was 7.9 trillion times more likely. So that would mean, if the Earth has 8 billion people on it, it would be something like 1 billion planet Earths would have to be out there for there to be another person that had and had the same DNA structure and everything, to have another person that might have the same DNA structure. The Megan Waterman had 2.374 with 45 zeros after it. And that was, she had 3 different things. She had female hair, and then 2 female hairs. Oh, that, excuse me. So Waterman had 2 female hairs on Waterman, then so 1 hair, and then a second hair from a different female, and then a male hair. And over here it says Heuermann's wife was the first 2, and then Rex Heuermann was the other hair. I mean, just ridiculous numbers here. And then Amber Costello had tape, and this was let's see, for Waterman it was outside the head, tape on the area of the head, and then bottom portion of burlap. Then Amber Costello, female hair, and the tape in the area of the head, and then it's it turns out it's the daughter of Rex Herman. Jesus. I mean, that's just unreal, you guys. I mean, they just have this guy nailed. Why doesn't he just give up at this point? It's stupid. I guess he has nothing to lose, right? You can't see it. Well, you need to see every single bit of it, Wild Wyatt. You're always a complainer. You know, I'm scrolling up and down. You can see it, okay? Yeah, don't be passive aggressive. Hey, mods, can you ask him how to... Jesus. Hey, thanks, Mama 457 Rose. All right. Then we move down here. As noted, Supra, based on post-arrest interviews with witness, the Gilgo Homicide Task Force has learned that witness 3 and defendant Herman began living together. So this is what they're referring to about people living together. As noted, Super based on post-arrest interviews with witnesses, the Gilgo Homicide Task Force was learned that, but I read them for you guys, and I scrolled up and down. So yes, I'm sorry that every once in a while there's something on the screen, but if you pay attention, you can see it. You know what I mean? Hey, thanks, Ozzy Trisha. Do we have any new? I don't think we have. Do we have any? Oh, 1 new member today. Jesus, that's wild. I'm trying not to put those things on the screen for you guys. I know you guys want to. There's always something to complain about, but I try not to. I'm trying to recognize people that help support the channel, and then I go back to reading, and then I forget that it's on the screen, right? So right there I might say, hey, but when I'm reading this, you can see while I'm scrolling down, right? Hey, I think we made it to 53% now. Not too bad. Got that right, Mama 457 Rose. You got that right. But if you really want me to take them out, just type in. Everybody just start typing and look at. And then when I look up, I might look at the screen and go, oh shit, That's why I got the. If you're a channel member, you got the little look at. This thing right here. That's what this is for. I think it's covered up by a button. I can't get to it. Well, somebody else can type it in. Yeah, well, it's the way you do it, Wild Wyatt. You never do it like a polite person. It's always different, a little strange. On your 3-inch cell phone screen. That's hilarious. Do you have one of the ones that flip open, Sharon Gornick? All right, so now Heuermann's unfettered access to target residence during disappearance and murder of Miss Sandra Castillo. So now we get to hear this part here where it says, as noted, super based on post-arrest interviews with witnesses, the Gilgo Homicide Task Force has learned that witness and defendant Herman began living together at target residence in 1991. So they were, I don't know if they were dating or just roommates or whatever. In September of 1993, approximately 2 months before Miss Castillo's disappearance and murder, Witness 3 moved out of target residence. Prior to Witness 3 leaving target residence, Herman's mother had moved out of target residence. Based on the foregoing, neither Herman's mother nor witnesses were living at the target residence during the time of Sandra Castillo's murder. Accordingly, the murders of all 4 charged victims, and now the murder of Miss Taylor and Miss Castillo, occurred at times when defendant Herman would have had unfettered time to execute his plans for each victim without any fear that his family or other resident residing at the target residence would uncover or learn of his involvement in the crimes. As detailed in Exhibit A following Herman's arrest, numerous search warrants were executed at target residence, which culminated in, among other things, the seizure of over 350 electronic devices. In months subsequent to Herman's arrest, the Gilgo Homicide Task Force has attempted to extract and analyze data from each of these devices. An analysis of these devices has revealed Herman's significant collection of violent bondage and torture pornography, currently dating back to 1994. The pornographic images accessed by Herman include, but are not limited to, breast mutilation, vaginal torture, sex substitution, i.e., using objects, the sexualization of decapitated women, what the hell, bondage and whipping, which notably are largely coincide with how the remains of Sandra Castillo, Jessica Taylor, Valerie Mack were discovered. Well, you guys haven't added Valerie Mack in there yet, though, right? Like, Valerie Mack isn't one of the ones you've been charged with, but notice how they're mentioning the name in here. Man, that must be an old phone there then, Sharon. The phones they have now are like you have to lug them around with wheels on them. Let's see. Moreover, during the analysis of a hard drive recovered from the basement of Herman's residence, the Gilgo Homicide Task Force recently discovered a Microsoft Word document entitled HK 2002 to 2004. The document was discovered in unallocated space, so it must have been something meant to be, it was there, deleted, and it hadn't been written over yet. And let's see if I got that right. Allocated space refers to stored data that a computer is using, files that are viewable and able to be opened by a user. Let's see, allocated space, so it was unallocated. So allocated space refers to stored data that a computer is using, files are that viewable and to be opened by a user. On the other hand, unallocated space refers to available or unstructured data which is not readily viewable and able to be opened by a user. Unallocated space frequently contains room for new data or old data that has been deleted. There you go. Sent to the recycle bin, overwritten. So what it does, like, if you delete something, it's still sitting there. Let's see. Like, if you delete information, I guess what I could try to explain it. It's pretty kind of interesting. Let me just, I don't know if I can do it in here or something. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, like, on the computer, I mean, I guess you could just say, like, these are, like, there's different segments. Let's just say these are, like, things that are being written over on a hard drive like this, like a little block of information, right? And let's say these two represented Microsoft Word, or an email, or not an email, let's say a photograph that you said, a JPEG file that you saved, right? Well, when you delete it, it really just kind of makes it so it's like it changes it, like it's not readable anymore. So let's just make it green, which means, hey, it's not readable. It's gone. You deleted it. So now these are the only thing here, but it's still sitting there. You just can't see it anymore. Now, if law enforcement gets a hold of your computer quick enough, they can go in and retrieve these. However, if you save more data out there and then all of a sudden this sector right here gets written over and it's red, well, now, you know, that took both of those to make the JPEG. You can't get it now because some of that was written over and now it's gone. That makes sense? I'm just trying to explain it sort of a visual way. But now there's a new program here, you know, like somebody, you installed something else and it wrote over the sectors or, you know, that you had just freed up by deleting something. So if you have like 1,000 sectors or whatever, and it was taken up by 500, you know, 500 of those were taken up by JPEGs, or a file, let's say, and then you delete the file, now there's 1,000 available again. However, if law enforcement got that right then, they could extract that 500 out and get something out of it. But if you start installing stuff or writing over that, then you can't do it anymore. So there you go. All right, and we are at, well, you can see it on the screen right there. We're at 50-something%. So if you guys are out there and you can help support the Gray Hughes Investigates YouTube channel and try to get us back on track, I would appreciate it. I've been having to make a lot of videos and all kinds of different stuff. So anyways, this moreover, during the analysis of the hard drive recovered from the basement of Herman's residence, the Gilgo Homicide Task Force recently discovered a Microsoft Word entitled HK 2002-04. The document was discovered in unallocated space. So that means it's been deleted. Allocated space refers to stored data. So allocated space means stored data in using files are viewable and able to be opened by a user. On the other hand, unallocated space refers to available or unstructured data which is not readily viewable and able to be opened by a user. Unallocated space frequently contains room for new data or old data that has been deleted, sent to the recycle bin. That's right. So if it's in the recycle bin, you have to empty the recycle bin, then it makes it so that you can write over it at that point. It's not really deleted yet. It's like a second layer even. Like even if you delete it, let's say you deleted it from the recycle bin, you could probably take your computer in and somebody could recover that for you if you didn't mean to do that. And thank you, Lillian. For example, when a user deletes data, many users believe the file has been purged forever. So this is what I was just telling you. I haven't read this yet. However, deleting a file only tells the computer that the space previously occupied by that file is now available. Didn't that help you guys now that when you read this, it makes sense? The deleted data will remain in unallocated space until another file is written over. Hey, man, it's almost as if I'd read that. Data contained within unallocated space can be retrieved via a computer forensic extraction method called file carving. There you go. A forensic analysis of the HK 2002-2004 document reveals that it was not only a locally created draft, i.e. not downloaded from the internet, but also recovered from a hard drive that indicates it was utilized by Heuermann himself. While the original document appears to have been created in 2000, based on its original title, HK 2000-03, this iteration of the Word document titled HK 2002-04 appears to have been created and modified between 2001 and 2002. Based on the foregoing and the facts set forth, the task force members believe 2000 or 2002 to be reference to calendar years. The task force members also believe, based on the foregoing and the facts set forth, the Microsoft Word document to be planning document utilized by Herman to methodically blueprint and plan out his kills, hereafter referred to as HK planning document. All right, I'm going to take this off the screen. It's not doing anything. Let's see. Planning document. Now let's go here. The HK planning document begins with a 4-category section with the underlying heading of problems, supplies, DS, and TRG. See embedded excerpt on the following page. We don't know what you're talking about, Rob. We have no idea. Where do these people come from? You know, like 45 minutes later, you know? It's just insane. Do I know you, Rob? Have I ever seen you in my life, Rob? I didn't think so. All right, have a good one. So right here it says, HK planning document begins with a 4-category section with the underlying heading of problems, supplies, DS, and TRG. See embedded excerpt from the following page. Good night, Linda Howell. Problems that he might have. So he wrote these things down. I'm sure Brian Koberger did something very similar to this. DNA, tire marks, blood stains, fingerprints, plastic bag, cat litter, witness, trace source of supplies. Hey, thanks, Kit Kat. How's it going? I just ate one of those the other day. Trace source of supplies, foot shoe prints, photos, misleaders, police stop, truck stuck, fingerprints, in gloves, plastic bags, match to box, hair and fiber. He forgot about that. I mean, the hair and fiber one. He wrote that shit down. He didn't think of that at all. He got busted on all those. Supplies. Okay, I need to have booties, lye, and acid. That's for decomposing a body. Police scanner. Gotta see what's going on, where the cops are. Rope and cord. A saw. Cutting tools. Hair nets. Make sure his hair doesn't come out. Man, you know what? I bet it is creepy as hell. What did Herman look like at his house while he was doing these things? I think he's right out of a horror movie. I think he probably wore all these different things and, had the booties on, and maybe the people are even still alive or something, and he's just photo film, burn can, foam drain cleaner, body wash wipes, tarps, drop cloths, medical gloves, bags, tape, large electrical clips, ratchet cargo strap. I'm not sure what DS stands for, though. Dump site, or maybe it stands for dump site. Should I do Mill Road, and then a dumpster site? Next time, recon dumpster locations. Look for dumpster locations. T1 Megan, small is good. So he likes small. So I think Megan Waterman is the type. I wonder if type 1 is like Megan. Like, is that what he's saying? Because Megan Waterman, wasn't she like 4'11" or something? Or let's see. might have had it in here somewhere. Can't remember now. I think it's the other girls. That I don't know. But anyways, that must be Megan Waterman there. Don't you think? Small is good. And I'm not sure what Aung black means. Not sure. Based on, that's what I was saying, Mimi. Yeah. Based on the Gilgo Homicide Task Force training and experience, maybe not a type, because actually if that was 2002, he hadn't attacked Megan yet. I mean, had he, what year was she? She was, she was 2010 is when she went missing. So I don't know. That'd be kind of weird to guess a name like that. Well, we feel better there. 8675309. Thanks for the support there. Based on the Gilgo Homicide Task Force training and experience, the members believe problems to be a guide on issues to avoid. I guess we get to find out the answers here. To avoid apprehension, supplies to be referenced to what supplies are needed to carry out the serial murders, to avoid apprehension, and to avoid leaving behind DNA evidence. That'd be like his MO kind of stuff. DS heading appears to be acronym for dump site, I guess that, which is corroborated by, among other things, the discovery of Valerie Mack and Jessica Taylor at two separate dump sites, i.e. the vicinity of Mill Road and Ocean Parkway. He hasn't been charged with her murder yet, though, but notice how she's been mentioned in this now. Under the same heading, and let's see. In a note regarding dumpster sites, which the task force members believe is a reference to how Herman disposed of physical evidence in the manner described, among other things, following, and it says TRG appears to be a reference to a target or victim, right? See embedded image below. It's important to note that the known victim thus far are all petite women, which is consistent with a small is good. That's what I was saying. Entry in the document lending further support to the aforementioned conclusion that TRG refers to victims of targets. With regards to DS section of the document, it is important to note that the human remains of Jessica Taylor discovered in 2003, as well as the remains of Valerie Mack discovered in 2000, were dumped in two locations, one of those locations being the vicinity of Mill Road, which is listed as DS1 Mill Road in the above Word document. On March 29, 2011, Miss Taylor's torso, skull, and hands recovered near Ocean Parkway, i.e. a second dump site. On April 4th, 2011, Miss Mack's skull, hands, and right foot were also recovered near Ocean Parkway, also a second dump site. The recent discovery of, so I was just showing you where Valerie Mack is 100% one of his victims, but he hasn't been charged yet, which did not yield a recovery. So the recent discovery of this document prompted the April 2024 cadaver search of the Manorville area, which did not yield the discovery of additional sets of human remains, thereby reinforcing the task force members' belief that HK planning document refers to Herman's preparation for either Jessica Taylor and or Valerie Mack. The HK planning document on Herman's computer then delves into three sections, with a heading pre-prep, prep, and post-event. So the prep is vehicle, I don't know if that's what that's saying, VEC inspection, engage, target, recon dump site, locate dump site number 2. That's when he's gonna. Wow, that's crazy. So this is absolutely for those two because he put body parts in 2 locations. He wants the weather report. He wants to look to see if there's any surveillance cameras. Pick a zone. And it says recon pick zone for video cameras. And then, so like ones without it probably. Then prep, set up a stage, holding area, build a table. I mean, this guy's like Dexter but bad. Crossbar, hard point, post-event destroy file, change tires. Remember how he mentioned that? Burn the gloves he was wearing, dispose of pics, have story set. The Gilgo Homicide Task Force members believe pre-prep to be a guide on steps to take advance of homicide, i.e. inspecting his vehicle, engaging the target, conducting a recon or survey of video surveillance cameras in pertinent areas including the pick zone, i.e. location where a victim is picked up, and checking the weather to ensure for optimal conditions. Prep, on the other hand, appears to be a reference to steps taken closer in time to homicide, i.e. setting up the staging area, holding area, and table crossbar hard point for the victim. Table crossbar hard point. What is that? Is that crossbar dining table? Crossbar table. Maybe he's talking about just wants a table that's strong. Well, Dexter was good. He killed bad people. But you guys, right now we're at like 58%. So if you're out there and you can help support the channel, try to get us back on track, that'd be great. I mean, I'd appreciate it, you guys. I mean, this is what we used to always do. All right. And I haven't done anything different on my end. I'm still doing the same shows, you know. The Gilgo Homicide Task Force members believe pre-prep. Okay, so we got the pick zone, i.e. location where a victim picked up, and checking the weather to ensure for optimal conditions. Prep, on the other hand, appears to be a reference to steps taken closer in time to the homicide. Right. Specifically, the prep section has 5 entries: setup, stage, holding area, build table, crossbar, and hardpoint. The Gilgo Homicide Task Force members are aware that a crossbar is often placed underneath tables to provide further structure. That's what I was just going to say, looking at the picture over here. So it needs to be heavier so it doesn't break. Placed on a table. Additionally, the task force members are also aware that hardpoint refers to the field of sexual suspension bondage. Jesus. To a fixed attachment point in the ceiling that supports the weight of an individual being suspended off the ground, which is corroborated by Herman's significant interest in pornography, where the subject is either suspended, tortured, bound to a table, decapitated, and or their breasts are mutilated, which is consistent with the foregoing notations regarding suspension, as well as the condition of the victims described herein. Additionally, post-event appears to reference a checklist of tasks following the event or homicide to avoid apprehension, i.e. destroy, file, change tires, burn gloves, dispose of pictures taken of the victim, and have stories set. Alibi story for family upon their return or law enforcement should an inquiry be made. The HK planning document continues to further expound on preparatory measures such as specific recon, steps taken, recon reports, takedown, pickup section embedded below, packaging, a body for transport. And let's see body prep section embedded below, and steps to inhibit victim identification and avoid leaving behind DNA evidence. Body prep and dispose of the following section. Video cameras on Parkway. Wow. Target 1 info, cell number. Oh man, that's actually a phone number there. Takedown. I mean, this guy was, this guy right here is the classic serial killer. The big time, the real serious ones. I mean, look at this guy. He has like these notes and documents. Just hunt, take down, pick up. Hunt too long, seen in the area too long. Don't do these things. Remember, don't charge for gas, pay cash. Recon look for video cameras in pickup area next time. Body prep. Wash the body inside and all cavities. Remove trace evidence. Fingerprints, hair, he didn't do that. Remove trace DNA. Remove ID marks, tattoos marks. Remove marks from torture. Remove head and hands. I mean, look at it. He just does this like it's just, getting ready to go golfing or something. Package for transport. So after he's removed their head and hands, which is Valerie Mack and Jessica Taylor, then you got to package them up and get them ready for transport. Dispose of the following tools and devices. Target 1, clothes and personal items. Drop cloths, wipe and towels. Drops, toys, wood items, anything that touched. Target 1, what you wore. Destroy book and computer files. Burn gloves. Dispose of box of plastic bags to avoid trace. Man, there should have been a reading feed tonight, though. I can tell you that. It's a lot of reading. Man, maybe that would have got us there, but we seem to have stuck. Even after I said, hey, everybody, if you could help support the channel, it went, The body prep section above includes a note to remove head and hands, which clearly relates to the condition of Jessica Taylor's and Valerie Mack's remains, as both victims were decapitated and dismembered and their arms below their elbows. Additionally, each of these victims' remains, as well as the remains of the Gilgo Four, were indeed packaged for transport, as this section indicates, further increasing the significance of the document's presence on Herman's laptop computer. Finally, this section also includes a note to remove ID marks. As noted, the examination of Miss Taylor's body in July of 2003 indicated numerous sharp linear injuries to the victim's skin, specifically around where Miss Taylor's tattoo had been located, which investigators believe was intended to inhibit the identification of Miss Taylor's tattoos, and therefore Miss Taylor in a manner consistent with the HK planning document. Furthermore, the dispose of the following section lists destroy computer files as a checklist item. The presence of HK planning document in the unallocated space demonstrates Herman. I wonder if that stands for like Herman kill. HK, yeah. That's probably what he wanted to call himself. The H killer, like Herman killer. Demonstrates Herman's efforts to destroy or delete computer files in a manner that is consistent with this notation. As set forth in Exhibit A consistent theme of Herman's computer activity is the use of forensic wiping software and among other things, in a manner that is consistent with this notation in HK planning document. In the things to remember section, there are notes indicating steps to take next time, i.e. considering a hit to the face or neck next time, or using heavier rope for the neck, as the light rope broke. Hey, thanks, Lil Puppy Pod. Under stress of being tightened. See embedded image below. Herman's further opined on the importance of sleep to not only avoid problems but also to increase what Herman refers to as playtime. Thank you, Gloria Batari. We just reached 60%. Thanks, Genergy. Haven't seen that one before. Things to remember. Sound travels. So, control the amount of air in and out to control the noise made. What is it? What are you referring to? Of the person. Like you don't let them scream by not. Well, I'm not sure if that's what that means, but that's crazy. Get sleep before hunt. Too tired creates problems if you're too tired. Hit harder. Too many hit to take, just hit one time hard instead of multiple times to take down. Consider a hit to the face or neck next time for takedown. Next time. I mean, how many kills do you think this guy has, man? More sleep and noise control equals more playtime. So if you can control their noise and you get more sleep, you get to play more. Use push pins to hang drop cloths. So what's the deal with the drop cloths from ceiling? Maybe to keep spatter or something? I don't really know what you're... And why use a push pin? Probably so you can take the pins off and throw them away or something, not leave fingerprints. Not tape. Yeah, because tape is good at that. Thanks, Lisa Valenzuela, Justin Oki, Quinta Huggins, and Michelle H. More sleep and noise control equals more playtime. Use push pins to hang drop cloths from ceiling, not tape. Use heavy rope for neck. Light rope broke under stress of being tightened. So that means on another occasion, he used light rope and it broke under stress. He's actually describing a time where it failed, so now he needs to make adjustment. So who was that person? As set forth above and embedded here below, maybe that was Valerie Mack. The Gilgo Homicide Task Force members believe these references to next time indicate Herman's prior experiences. Right, well, I just said that. And what changes the implement moving forward. Yeah, pick up area next time. Moreover, the references in Things to Remember section to utilize push pins to hang drop cloths from ceiling and not tape, as well as manifested concern that sound travel indicate the reference incident would have occurred indoors and likely inside of target residence, which is controlled environment, that Herman would not only be familiar with that, but also an area where Herman would have access to said tools and supplies. Drop cloths would also serve the twin purpose of limiting the spread of forensic evidence, such as blood, to a confined area, as well as controlled sound travel, which would lead to more playtime, which is believed to be a reference to sexual mutilation acts perpetrated on victims. Additionally, with Herman's family vacationing out of the state, defendant would have had unfettered time and exclusive access to the target residence, allowing defendant Herman ample opportunity to execute and clean up after these crimes. Finally, the HK planning document on Herman's laptop computer includes a notes section. Notes: spur of the moment, cover, Stockholm Syndrome. The more you do, the more clues you give. Look at the painting. What, why, who. Organized versus disorganized. Page 162, sex substitution. Page 163, page 175, mutilation equals disorganized. But disorganized. Well, you're the one that did that, though. The investigation to date has established the source of these notes, i.e. Mindhunter paperback book, authored by John Douglas. Hey, thank you very much, Connie E. specifically the first edition published in 1996 concerning the criminal profiling of serial killers. For example, the notes section of the HK planning document includes the following notation. Page 162 of said book does indeed reference sex substitution, i.e. penetration with an object, as Douglas describes the rather horrible sexual mutilation and masturbation over the victim's body, but no intercourse. And, you know, sometimes you sort of wonder if that's what Richard Allen was doing, something more like that. The penetration with the umbrella and pen were acts of sexual substitution. On page 163, Douglas opines that the perpetrator of such a crime, i.e. sex substitution, would be a disorganized killer who would be compulsive and perhaps living with his parents. Accordingly, this notation contained in the HK planning document is considered... Don't you guys think that that's what that stands for? Like Heuermann killer or something like that? Document is consistent with the aforementioned book in page number and subject matter. The notes section of the HK planning document also includes the following notation. Mutilation equals disorganized. In page 175 of the first edition of Mindhunter book, Douglas describes a woman's screams and shortly thereafter how the woman's throat had been cut and her naked body mutilated. Douglas further asserts on page 175 of said book that mutilation is a sign of disorganized personality type. Accordingly, this notation contained in HK planning document is again consistent with the aforementioned book in page number and subject matter. So maybe that's why he stopped doing that after Valerie Mack and Jessica Taylor. It didn't seem like he mutilated people anymore. The notes section of HK planning document also contains the following notations. Hey guys, we only have one new member out tonight. Maybe you guys can, instead of helping support, directly me, why don't you see if you can get some new channel members? There's people out there that don't have them, and I'm nowhere near to the point where I can give away the 5, but if you guys want to do the channel memberships, that'd be good. The notes section of the HK planning document also contains the following notations. Look at the painting. What, why, who? On page 19 of said book, Douglas notes that while he was still at the FBI, he always advised his agents, if you want to understand the artist, the perpetrator, you have to look at the painting, the victim. We've looked at many paintings over the years and talked extensively to the most accomplished artists. Hey, thanks. Aussie Trisha gifted a membership to Genergy. There you go. Welcome. Accordingly, the note above contained in Herman's laptop computer to look at the painting yet again points to the aforementioned book as the source of Herman's commentary. Let's see. If you want to understand the artist, the perpetrator, you have to look at the painting, the victim. Okay, so look at the painting means you gotta look at the the profile of the person. Right, I know. Jess, I just showed that earlier in the show. I showed everybody exactly what it looks like now and everything. Accordingly, the note above contained in Herman's laptop computer to look at the painting yet again points to the aforementioned book as the source of Herman's commentary. Finally, the other notations contained in the HK planning document, i.e. spur of the moment, cover Stockholm Syndrome. The more you do, the more clues you give, are also each contained in the said book, all pointing to it as the source of Herman's notation. Okay, well, go back to the beginning. You'll be able to see it. The foregoing is corroborated in part by Herman's possession of other serial killer book authored by John Douglas. During the initial search warrant execution in July of 2023 at the target residence, the task force observed that Herman possessed in his home office the book entitled The Cases That Haunt Us. See embedded image below. And also, if you go back there, Jess, to the older 2012, you have to use Google Maps. You can actually see where each body was placed. There's a little cross on the ground and an arrow with the name and everything. Yeah, you have to go back to 2012 Google Maps Street View Historical, which outlines the facts, evidence, and victimology of several notable serial murder cases. Here, I'll put this back up now so you can see that's where we're at right now, 65.2%. All right, you guys, so that's your goal in the last hour to get to the end of that thing. Or do I have to throw myself in prison and dance a jig again? The Gilgo Homicide Task Force members believe that the totality of the circumstances surrounding the HK planning document, including Herman's attempt to delete its existence, points to it as Herman's self-education and homework on the topic of carrying out serial sexual murder. Herman pointed concerns regarding avoiding being captured on video surveillance, leaving behind forensic evidence, what supplies to purchase, how to package a body for subsequent transportation to dump sites. Huh? Who are you talking about, Cindy? Douglas, the writer? No. He studied serial killers. Avoiding being captured on video surveillance, leaving behind forensic evidence, what supplies to purchase, how to package a body for subsequent transportation to dump sites, wash bodies inside all cavities prior to package for transport, avoiding paper trail, tying him to crimes and or crime scenes, concerns regarding noise and or travel which could inhibit playtime, and 7, how to improve next time, further confirm merely by looking within the four corners of the document itself its relevance in this regard. This belief is further corroborated when looking at the litany of external factors, including how the 6 victims, now attributable to Herman, were indeed packaged and transported, and in the case of Miss Taylor, how her head, hands, and tattoo were removed and or obliterated, consistent with the document instructions. Furthermore, an analysis of Herman's computers confirms that HK planning document was in unallocated space and had hence been deleted, which is consistent with not only the destroy computer files notation, but also Herman established use of forensic wiping software. I don't know if that, because forensic wiping software, what it does is, so after you delete an item and it's sitting there, and so like I said before, unless you write over it again, it's still sitting there. So this software program writes over the unallocated space, just kind of writes over it, but writes nothing there, basically. I mean, it's kind of weird. Almost like it's formatting that those little sectors. Furthermore, an analysis of Herman's computer confirms that HK planning document was an allocated space and had hence been deleted, which is consistent with not only the destroy computer files notation, but also Herman's established use of forensic wiping software. Boy, you guys really went to work on that. I put the thing back up there and penalties. If convicted on the current charges, Defendant Rex A. Herman faces multiple sentences of life without parole. What, they don't have the death penalty there? Based on the serious, heinous nature of these serial murders, the strength of the people's case, the life incarceration the defendant faces upon conviction, the extreme measures this defendant took to attempt to avoid apprehension for over a decade, and defendant's indictment in these additional charges, which now incorporate a fifth and sixth victim, the people remain steadfast that the only means to ensure the defendant return to court is to remand the defendant without bail. And I guess these are what they're, the same doc thing at the bottom is the same information that was spread in the document. But hey, we read the whole damn thing. There you go. Man, what a mess. I mean, we all knew he was a serial killer, but you got to admit, like, I mean, he's like a whole different level here. He's like what the movies are made about. Those kind of guys. Right? What do you guys think? Saw type, yeah, it's right out of the movies. Alright, well, any chance of reaching the goal tonight, you guys? If not, I'll just go, I'm gonna go make some videos or something. I can go, I gotta get going for tomorrow or something. I don't know what's going on. You know, it's just really disheartening. Right, yeah, are you new to the case, Jess, or, you know, we showed the houses many times, and he had a vehicle there too, and yeah, why do I'm about ready to end the show, WNC Granny, so. Yeah, not really interested in that. That's weird, Jess, because he didn't live in Houston, so that'd be kind of weird. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be strange. Let's see. Yeah, I think you got the wrong case. You might be thinking of a different one. Yeah, he lives in New York. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to start doing. I mean, it's just really, you know, when I make videos, I don't mind making the videos, but I need to have a direction. Like, I'm either just going to start making videos and videos and videos and no more live streams, or we get back to what we were doing before. Because I can do equally well if I make 3 or 4 videos, like, you know, two grid videos a day, I could do pretty well. I just won't have time for the show. But the thing is that you guys have always been so supportive. It's allowed me to get just prepped to do live streaming and do shows with you guys. Okay? The amount of work it takes to make videos is just as much as it is to do the live streams, but it's it's just becoming a struggle. I'm not trying to be an ass or mean or anything like that. I'm just letting you know this isn't like the way it was before. It was, people would just help support the channel. And the last year or so, months, I'm having to say all the time, hey, everybody, if you'd help support the channel. And I'd rather just do the shows and, have it work the way it used to work. But I know the economy isn't that great. And the live streams, or the videos that I make, there's ad revenue, despite, people just watch the videos, and it doesn't matter if somebody is able to help or not. And so it's just kind of, at that point, though, I don't know if I would donate the same amount because there's no skin in the game for anybody else. It would just be my work. I'd still donate money, but not the same percentage or anything like that. Anyways, hey, thank you up there to Plato. Oh, I didn't know. Then I didn't see anything like that. And then Sarah and Mustang 1965. So you guys tell me what you want me to do. Okay. Just let me know. Yeah, this guy is an absolute. If you were gonna make a movie about serial killers, this guy would be as cliche as you can get. I mean, he does every single thing that you see in the movies, I know. Yeah, the membership part, people just bail anyways. They get the free memberships and they don't sign up. They just get another free one the next month. So the membership part is sort of, I don't know. I mean, I think if I could get it to a point where, if I could make 2 videos a day that got like 20, 30,000 views, then I could, do well. I know, you sent that, WNC Granny. I don't want to read it, okay? Make a movie of Rex Herman. Yeah, maybe. Maybe someday. Hey, thanks, Gummo. You want me to? The one they want me to read is Gilgo Beach murder suspect. Rex Herman was a mama's boy. I mean, what's interesting about that? Because it said that in the document, how, sort of like the Mine Hunter game. Maybe it's the guy living in the basement drooling. Is that the one, or? No, well, it gets weird when you say Houston, Just Yes. Yeah, be better yourself. You're just not really helpful. Yeah, it's okay, Just Jess. I'm not really interested. Thank you. I think making videos without the daily lives would be a blessing, not only for victims' family, but easier on you. That's what it feels like sometimes. I'd miss, hanging out with the freaks and everything, but yeah, I mean, I guess what the thing is, Just Jess, when you show up to a channel, you should try to be more respectful and go watch the beginning of the show and get caught up, maybe have it go at fast speed, and then you'd see that we already talked about all the stuff that you brought up in there, and then I gave you some help and I said, hey, go look at Street View, the old one. You can go check out the arrows that point to where the bodies were and the names, the 2012 Street View. And then you said, oh, I went to the house in Houston. It's like, what are you talking about? All right, so the show wasn't about you. I can tell you that, Just Jess. All right. I love both the videos and the live streams. I understand your struggle. Solution, maybe live stream once or twice a week, videos daily. Yeah, maybe. But also when I did the live streams, I'd have to get, if it's the same type of support that we've got in the last week or so, I wouldn't even want to do those. That's the problem. It's just so, it's weird. I mean, I'm doing the same shows that I've always done, so. Thank you, KR. Or I'll do it because I'll do what your WNC Granny. I'll do your story here. Yeah, I don't know, LM. I kind of want to just keep doing what I've been doing and work in videos, but I just need it to be the same as it used to be. You know, I don't know what the problem is. For 4 years, we've done the same damn thing. Anyways, right here it says, Gilgo Beach murder suspect Rex Herman was mama's boy. I'm trying to do the videos to augment the show to help, you know. Accused Gilgo Beach serial killer Rex Herman was bizarrely close to his controlling mother while he was an adolescent. Herman, 59, was a mama's boy and would sit in his mother's basement and drool profusely, much like Richard Allen. Oh, no, it doesn't say that. Ah, you thought it said it. Zozo was sitting there. She thought it was real. Let's see. Herman, 59, was a mama's boy and would tell friends things like, I have to get home to my mother, said a former. That sounds more like the mom was controlling. I always got the impression he was close to his mother. The mother seemed to be all the former classmates said of Dolores. Mother seemed to be his all. All right, now you guys, look at that, though. We were sneaking up there. You guys, you could probably do it. It's only 55 away. And I'll tell you what, even though if you guys get to that number, I'll donate the 5 memberships, even though that's not when I normally do it. All right, there you go. Huh? What are you talking about? I'm sure it's actually an attraction thing, but I can't stop thinking about the child doll he had. Huh? That's the same thing 8675309 said earlier. Yeah, I remember it was inside the case when they pulled it out. Who knows what that was? Maybe that was what his mom had. I always got the impression he was close. And by the way, thanks again up there to KR and Gummo and Mustang and Plato and Sarah H. The extremely close ties between the pair may have influenced Herman's decision to buy his childhood home. See, wouldn't that be weird if that was hers, right? In Massapequa Park from his mom for $170,000 in 1994. That's just after he killed Jessica Taylor. Probably wanted to. Oh, that's interesting. Shortly after his first marriage to Elizabeth Ryan in 1990. Oh, so is that Elizabeth Ryan? No, that wouldn't be the roommate. He never left. And the thing is, it'd be hard for me not to do the live streams because a lot of people that count on the show every single day, you know. So I'm trying to figure it out, you know. I don't know, not sure. Thanks, WNC Granny. Now we're only 51 short of the 5 membership goal. He never left. Herman, who pleaded not guilty. So let's see. The extremely close ties between the pair may have influenced him to buy the childhood home. Herman, who pleaded not guilty on July 14th to murder charges in connection with the deaths of sex workers Melissa Bartholomew, Amberlynn Costello, and Megan Waterman. So that was only 3 at the time. And then he got the charge on, what's the other one? Hold on, I gotta look at the map. Amber Costello, Megan Waterman, Jessica Taylor. Wait, it's, What the heck, Lisa Valenzuela? Come on. Yeah, that was a good. Yeah, look at this. Vargeta is going to be part of him too. Okay, let's just get real here. Yeah, Megan Waterman, Melissa Bartholomew. Is that the one that wasn't mentioned? No. Amber Costello. No. Waterman. So it's Maureen Brainerd Barnes. She was the last one of the original 4. But yeah, wow, thanks, Lisa Valenzuela. So now I'm going to send it in. Here we go. Hold on. And here we go. LM got gifted a membership. I gave LM a membership. Look at that. KR got one. Lee 26, Baked, Jordan, and Debbie Boyd. There you go. All right. The man of the house at the young age of 12. His father, Theodore Herman, who served in World War II and in the Air Force as a second lieutenant, died in 1975 at the age of 50. The younger Herman, who founded his own architectural firm, RH Consultants and Associates, in 1994, curiously never spoke about his late father around his friends, the classmates recalled. And man, I think that that cat eye donation up there was the first one in like 4 days, you know. That was that, or 3 days, where it used to be kind of like a regular thing. Those are what made you get over the hump. So maybe that's where the economy part kicks in, or, you know, I don't know. Past 1.5 weeks and just got back. The younger Herman, who founded his own architectural firm, later in life, however, he boasted that his dad had worked as an aerospace engineer who built satellites, but also built cabinets and taught his son how to construct furniture. The architect continued to live in his boyhood home, where he raised his daughter and his stepson with his second wife, Asa Ellerup, whom he married in 1996. She filed for divorce last week, 6 days after her husband was arrested in connection with the grisly killings. God, just this guy's like he's like Ed Kemper too. He's like this really tall, big, massive criminologist Scott Bond, who actually profiled the accused Gilgo Beach killer back in 2011, said that Herman was a psychopath and had heard his mom was controlling and domineering, which could have shaped his twisted persona. By the way, by going over this guy, don't you think that Brian Koberger, don't you get the feeling that he was trying to go down the same route? Like that's what he was working on, trying to do. Just kind of young, starting off. He didn't succeed on the first one. But man, you just listen to all that and you can just see that he was a criminology student, used the blood spatter mitigation, completely, made it so there wasn't a lot of blood in the car, but he still washed his car over and over and over again. Then he sat in his living room and separated the trash out of the family garbage can and put it in the neighbor's garbage to avoid his DNA being there. I just think it's totally, absolutely the same. Who knows what the ticking beneath the surface, the criminologist added. let's know. It said he had kind of an unusual incestuous relationship in an emotional sense with his mother, which could be a contributing factor to his pathology, said Bond, who has extensively interviewed David Berkowitz, the son of Sam, who had his own set of mommy issues. Who knows what was the ticking beneath the surface, the criminologist added. He may have been projecting the loving, doting son, when in fact there may have been some deep-seated resentment towards Mom. I know, yeah, that's the part that sucks, is everything... The weird... I was just reading the parts about the economy, so that's the part that sucks, I guess, for me. You know, it's like I'm still doing the same shows, and the economy's bad, and then I bring in less money. Not the same, but costs are just more. You know what I mean? It's like... But that's because... it costs more for you guys, so then it's hard, you know, so it's weird for me, you know, and it's weird for you guys too. Like, everything costs more for you, so you can't support the channel quite as much, but then my channel brings in way less money, and the channel is, everything still costs more, you know what I mean? Yeah, so it's sort of a double, I get a double whammy, actually. Yeah, so that's pretty interesting. What are they saying down here? As a psychotherapist since 1972, I'm extremely interested in the psychological dynamics of Herman. However, it is extremely ridiculous and simplistic to say that he had a controlling mother, and that is the reason for his criminal... Yeah, I agree with that. It's just sort of like the cliches, you know, the body language experts, they always say stuff like... oh yeah, notice how he tilted his head and looked down there. That's a sign that he's lying. He's doing the... No, sometimes people just tilt their head and look down, you know. That's just what they do. It's... You know. But I guess we'll all go through the sucky times together, you know. You know, if we just, because I mean, here's the reality on the show. You know, that the goal that I have on the screen, that's just like the minimum, like, you know, like we just barely get there. But we always used to kill that thing. You know, instead of like 250, do like 350, 400, 450, and that's how I was able to give away like, you know, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 at the end of the month. When you're doing it like this, where it's like 250, you just barely sneak by, and then some nights you don't even get there, then you're at a place at the end of the month where if I can give away 2,000 or even 1,000, it'd be, you know, a luck, you know, because there's a certain point where I can't give the 33% anymore. You get it? I just don't want people to get, like if this month, for example, if you bring in like 7,000 total, with the ad revenue, everything coming in, I wouldn't be able to give 33%. You can forget, yeah, it just doesn't going to happen. So I just want you to have the, you know, realize that the expectations aren't going to be the same. You know, because last month I gave away almost 4,000, and the month before that I think it was 6. Because it was a good month, but then you know, that's what's weird, is how bad the economy seems to have just gotten in like a month. You know. Yeah. So a young man takes care of his widowed mother, and that's a bad thing? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying that, you know, we don't know that he was like a guy living in his mother's basement, drooling. He just, you know, living with his mom. Yeah. All right. anyways, I think that's it. Maybe I'll work on a video. I want to make one that's just sort of like goes over each of the crime victims or something. I don't know. Yeah, but I give away part of mine, Cindy, so it's not, All right. I thought you guys, those school teachers, you got that pension, man. I mean, you've got your retirement, your Social Security, right? And your school benefits, don't you? You should have way more than that. You guys get like the same income you made as a teacher, I thought, the whole time. Must have a bad retirement system over there. Okay, well, you'll be doing just fine then. What do you mean gray no? What does that mean? Gray no. I mean, I guess what, you know that story in the Joseph and the Technicolor coats, he had those dreams, Joseph did, and there was going to be 7 years of bumper crops and then 7 years of famine. But, he had to store up those 7 years to make it through the famine. And I think I did, the 200,000 we've given away was kind of the bumper crops that maybe, had I given away 150,000, it would have been, that other 50 might have got through the other times, I guess. But I'm glad we did it the way we did it. Jeez. So, anyways, I'm going to get going. I appreciate you guys. Thank you and thanks Lisa Valenzuela right at the end there for getting us over. I noticed that too now. It's like, as soon as we have to go, boom, it just stops like a dime, So let's see. Thank you to Kami, Lisa Valenzuela, at the beginning even, and then Linda Howell, then Francis Perot, then WNC Granny, or Peralt, or Francis Peralt again, and then Cindy 19 months, Francis Peralt, Bullseye, Little Puppy Paws 99, Georgina Stoliker, Little Puppy, but giving away is part of what my channel does, so I can't not give something. Georgina Stoliker, Mustang 1965, Francis Peralt, Terry Young, Francis Peralt, Wendy Van Rokel, then Sandy Shirley, Paulette Leonard, Michelle H., Peggy Day, Clad, WNC Granny gifted a membership, JJ, Cheryl Bullock, 8675309, Mama 457 Rose, then 8675309 again, then Plato, then 8675309, and Linda Howell, Sharon Gornick. I think I missed that one earlier. Thank you. Mama 457 Rose, Ozzy Trisha, Mama 457 Rose, Kit Kat, Lil Puppy Paws 99, Gloria Batari, Genergy, Lisa Valenzuela, Just Ann Oki, Quinta Huggins, Michelle H., Connie E., Ozzy Trisha gifted a membership, then Kit Kat, Plato, Sarah A., Mustang 1965, Gummo, KR, then WNC Granny, Ozzy Trisha, then Lisa Valenzuela got us to the goal, and Little Puppy Paws, and then I gifted 5 memberships. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I'm not going to have goals if I don't have I got to give, I want to be able to give stuff away, I mean, I'm definitely, and it doesn't matter what it's going to be. I'll give away. I got to, if I have to pick one thing, it's going to be, the scholarship and our DNA fund will be the things I give stuff to currently. All right. So there you go. We'll see how it goes. You never know. The month might pick up or something, and it's hard to say. But do you guys find the show interesting at least tonight? I mean, it was crazy going over that document because now you just see absolutely what a diabolical monster Rex Heuermann really is, and I guarantee you that you know what I think? There's this other victim here. You remember this one? Where the hell? She's over here somewhere, I think. Yeah, let's see. Hold on. Yeah, this Vergata over here. I guarantee you that one's one of them. A skull found over here? Of course, right? Let's see. Wait, I have that folder. Before I leave, let me look at that one. I gotta look something up really fast. We'll take another look at it. But I actually think that one. There it is. Carmen Vargata. Yeah. Yeah, and see this makes sense too. Listen to this. See, Herman did Valerie Mack and Jessica Taylor and dismembered them, right? This is 1989. Is this where he learned to not make the same mistakes again? Because look at this one. Body of unidentified slain woman found. The decomposed body of an unidentified woman, her ankles bound with cord and cloth tied over her face, was discovered near the Meadowbrook Parkway by a motorist who alerted police late Sunday, officials said yesterday. Investigators believe that the woman was killed at another location and dumped. Boy, who does that sound like? By the Parkway 2 to 4 weeks ago. The body was found in a wooded area about 30 feet off the west side of the Parkway, a mile south of Merrick Road. So let's just make sure I got this all right. Merrick Road. Wait, is it? That's Boulevard. Did I spell it right? Okay, Meadowbrook Parkway. Let's just do that. Yeah, see, there's Meadowbrook Parkway. And look at where Herman lived at one point. See, I remember this part. Like, he lived right here in 1990. So here's Meadowbrook Parkway. The body was found in a wooded area about 30 feet off the west side of the Parkway, a mile south of Merrick Road. So I have this right here. So this is where Vergata's skull was found, I think. The body was found in a wooded area. Okay, so she's missing her head. I think that's the thing. So this is like another dismembered person. Another dismembered person right here. In 1989, just 4 years before Jessica Taylor. And it's in September, so late summer months. He likes those. Police said the motorist had pulled over to the side of the road while on the way to the beach with his family. Okay, so this is the Parkway, and then where is Merrick Boulevard again? Hold on. So that's right here. Does that continue on? Yep, there's Merrick. And there's still Merrick. Yeah, I'm trying to get way over there, right? Yeah. Ah, crap, I lost it. Alright, so it comes around. I can see it's a thicker road. Like that. Alright, that's still Merrick right here. There's Merrick. Still Merrick. I think we're getting... Okay. Merrick. I guess I could have just typed in Merrick and that road. Okay, look where Herman used to live. Right there. And then Merrick Road. And right here. And then there's Merrick. So a mile south of there. Hold on. It's 0.4. That's 1 mile. This is where Vergata's body was found. Yeah. Yeah, this is tough. Alright, so her body was found right there, apparently, but then her head is found over here. So you don't think that that's Heuermann again on the same damn stretch here? Right there. And then Vergata, her body's found over there. Let's see. Let's look in here and see if we can find more information. Authorities were trying to determine the cause of death yesterday. Police are checking missing person records. Alright. No, it's Carmen Vargas. Wait, what am I looking at here? Now I'm confused. So that's Carmen Vargas. So I'm not sure if I'm accidentally typing, like, who's Vergata? I think I might have made a mistake there. Let's see. Vargas. Let's see. Vergata. Heuermann. Yeah, Karen Vergata. So maybe... No, so I have Carmen Vegas? Or maybe I like transpose that in my mind or something. Karen Vergata. Was Karen Vergata last seen at the alleged Gilgo Beach house? So I think I remember that story too. But I wonder if this is supposed to be Vegas. I mean, so this isn't Vergata here. It should be Carmen Vargas. Hold on, I gotta fix this. Where is it? Carmen Vegas. What are you referring to? Lillian, what are you talking about? All the planning you did. No, there's not two serial killers in the same spot. I mean, that other guy was a serial killer out there. Hey, Ozzy Trisha gifted another membership. But anyways, there was Carmen Vegas' body was found here. So now I'm kind of wondering. Let me type in her name now. Carmen Vegas. 1992 or 89. Yeah, so there was a New York. There, I gotta put the quotes around the name so it avoids any. That's not it. Well, it's also Karen Vergata. So let me check this one out. Just want to make sure I'm not accidentally. Hold on. Carmen Vegas Rex Herman. Yeah, so there, that one's in there. The 1989 death of sex worker Carmen Vargas. Those Vargas, not Vegas. Jesus, where am I coming up with this? Oh, I do have Vargas. I'm not sure why I typed it in here that way, though. Carmen Vargas. Okay. I keep losing what I had on the screen. That's a different person. Yeah, Karen, that's a different person. This is Carmen Vargas Rex Heuermann. This one I absolutely think is going to be related. So look at it. Suspected Rex Herman is being investigated in the 1989 murder of Carmen Vargas, a petite sex worker whose bound body was found just a few miles from his Long Island home. The Nassau County District Attorney Office confirmed the investigation after Vargas' family claimed the gruesome death bore too many similarities to the Gilgo Forest slaying. She was 29 in 1989 when her body was found dumped on the side of Meadowbrook State Parkway in Freeport, about 7 miles west. I don't know if she was dismembered. She was last seen by a mystery man who picked her up outside the family East Harlem apartment, according to her niece. She got into a dark car. Well, he did have one of those. I could tell it was a white man with glasses. The family long suspected killer Joel Rifkin, who denied the murder despite copying to 17 others. However, they immediately got suspicious when news broke of Herman's arrest for the Gilgo 4. There are too many similarities. Yeah, that's crazy too. Look where it is. I mean, Carmen Vargas, right there. He had a place. He lived there for a while, or at least he owned a property right near where she is. And then he also lives over here, but her body was found right there. And she's a sex worker and petite. Yeah, it's got to be. Well, let me go back to the newspaper. And now I'm here longer than I was going to be. Carmen Vargas. Okay, here's 1995. Sleigh that rocked city now, just footnote. Young woman named Carmen. That's not the same one, believe it or not. And that's not going to be it either. So I guess she was never mentioned. All right, the other one is Karen Vergata. That's the other one. Gilgo Beach victim Karen Vergata's last call to her dad disappeared in 1996. A long-time Jane Doe in the Gilgo Beach murders made one last call to her father for his birthday before she vanished. I remember this one, going over that one. 2 months after the Valentine's Day call on April 20th, Vergata's legs were found in plastic bags on Fire Island. So this one, Karen Vergata, is definitely like 100% a victim of Rex Heuermann. No doubt about it. I guess, is she a sex worker though, or I don't know. But man, you gotta admit, like, she's been dismembered and one of her body parts is found on the same stretch down there. Vergata, 34, whose dismembered remains were found on Fire Island, called her family for the last time on February 14th, Valentine's Day, 1996. That is the exact date Suffolk County District Attorney Ray Turney says she disappeared. 2 months after the Valentine's Day call on April 20th, Vergata's legs were found in plastic bags on Fire Island, Blue Point Beach. Let's see. Fire Island, New York. Okay, this is Blue Point Beach. Karen Vergata, legs in bags. Her skull was found on April 11, 2011, near the partial dismembered remains of Jane Doe number 3, also known as Peaches. See, Peaches is related too, you know. Do the DNA on her. You know, remember, here's Peaches right there, right? This is where there was a body that had a tattoo, Peaches. And then right over here is Vergata, a skull. And the rest of her body was over, where was it? Way over here. And but look how crazy this is, because then you start getting close to, how come I have her feet were found here? That's not right. It's over on Blue Point Beach. So over here. Let me rename it. I bet it floated over there. He probably threw it in the water. It's a little different, like he didn't put it in the woods or anything. But dismembered. Her skull was found April 11, 2011. Near the partial, and right around the same time they found all these other bodies, you know, of Jane Doe number 3, also known as Peaches, off Ocean Parkway on Long Island, not far from the remains of the original Gilgo 4. Rex Herman was arrested on July 13th. Vergata's father, Dominic Vergata, filed a 2017 petition to have his daughter declared dead and obtain her unclaimed assets. He detailed the last time he heard from her, adding that the two had regular contact over the phone, according to the son. The elder Vergata died in 2022. Vergata was living in West 45th Street in Manhattan, right there at the time of her disappearance, and believed to be working as an escort. Okay, well, there you go. Vergata is 100% one of Rex Herman's victims. So it's very possible that Vargas is, Carmen Vargas, Peaches, Valerie Mack. This guy's going to have another, 5 soon added to him. This guy, I bet, and you know what's weird is think about Rex Herman here. He probably used up this spot here. He probably, we've got these other bodies that are over here, in different places, in Manorville. So how do we know there aren't other Manorvilles out there? Maybe there's a whole spot over here where he buried, has bodies and they just haven't been found yet or something. This guy could have dozens and dozens. I wouldn't be surprised if he'd killed over 30, 40, 50 people. Wouldn't surprise me at all. And not even just here in New York. It's crazy. But anyways, there you go. Thanks, everybody. That's it. But anyways, thanks for being here tonight. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And as I always say, and thanks everybody again. I already thanked everybody, but oh yeah, I have to go to I didn't thank the couple PayPal people. Hold on. The freaks. We got Brenda, Maureen Co, and Lillian. So thank you. All right, guys. We'll see what tomorrow brings. Keep on trying to, plug along here as long as I can. But anyways, thank you guys very much. We'll see you tomorrow. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. Well, I've been on it for 3 hours, so I got to go. Where are you going? Jesus.
Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher.
Drooling in my mom's basement. I'm drooling in my mom's basement. I have a tank, man. I'm walking down the street.
Gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak
connector, and I'm always gonna be a protector.
Fool deflector, interceptor, and I mean
a little spectre with a vector
on his pector. With all respect, y'all. Just remember I've a temple fucking
injection.
I have no agenda. I'm no pretender. And I'll send it to you straight without a blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the truth and just get right back to work. All right, everybody. Talk to you.
All right. I don't know if it's his phone or not. All right, everybody. Well, his dad thought maybe it was his, so. You know what people said today? That was clickbait, Gray. That was... I have the least clickbaity videos in the history of the world. I said, Caleb Harris's phone with a question mark at the end. Or, found, whatever the hell it was, right? It was just really simple and obvious, but people are just whine and cry about every single thing that there is. So, all right, you guys. Thank you very much. See you later.
Good night, Craig. Jesus.